Yo, what's good, Jets Nation? This is Richie from Jets Media. In this video, I'm going to try to dig as deep as I can and bring you guys a positive video on the New York Jets following their matchup against the Buffalo Bills. Yes, I know I am fully aware that the negatives are definitely overshadowing the positives from the Jets' performance against the Bills. They did not come out there, they did not compete, they did not look like a competent football team, but there were some flashes of potential for the future that I will be breaking down in this video. Just because I'm going over the positives and not the negatives does not mean I'm just throwing the negatives away. If you guys want to see my full breakdown of the entire game where I break down the negatives and a little bit of the positives, I'll leave that down below in the description in my reaction review video of the game. But in this video, I'm just going to really dig deep and tell you guys what I got from this watching the film and who looked good and some positives that we can take away for this Jets future. So going right into it. Maye. Marcus Maye is definitely the player that shined to me the most in all the Jets fans. He filled in for Jamal Adams like we didn't even need Jamal Adams. Look at his stat line. Ready? 10 tackles, 2 sacks, 2 tackles for a loss, 2 QB hits, 2 pass deflections, and a forced fumble. That is Jamal Adams. I mean, that is what Jamal Adams brought to this team at the safety position by getting double-digit tackles and 2 sacks and just 2 tackles for a loss. I mean, that's what Jamal Adams brought to this defense that was so unique. Marcus Maye filled in that role, and it felt like Jamal Adams didn't even need to be there. But at the same time, we definitely missed Jamal Adams in terms of his presence on the field because Jamal Adams is a guy where it's like similar to like a really great receiver or a really great running back on offense. It's like the offense is looking at Jamal and they need to know where he is at all times. Marcus Maye doesn't have that presence, but that could be a really good thing that he doesn't have that presence because they're not really focusing on him. Then he comes out of nowhere. And Greg Williams put Marcus Maye right into the Jamal Adams role, and he flourished. I mean, Marcus Maye really showed that he looks elite. He is a guy that can be a Pro Bowl safety, an All-Pro safety, and I'm really high on Marcus Maye. He's going to be a free agent after this year, so hopefully we can re-sign him and he can be our future safety. He's 27 years old, and hopefully it's going to be him and Ashton Davis to be our future, so that is definitely a positive. That secondary looked good with Marcus Maye. It really did, and obviously the defense wasn't great by any means all across the board. All 11 players did not play well, but Marcus Maye was one player out of this whole entire team that I can say is elite and looked like he is a guy that could be atop of his craft and really good, and Greg Williams utilized it perfectly. Another player I want to talk about is cornerback Bless Austin. This is his second year in Greg Williams' system, the second year in the NFL, and he's a very unique cornerback. And what really stood out to me is his physicality. You know, cornerbacks are usually the guys that are on the outside and supposed to be following around the receivers in coverage and pass deflections, getting interceptions, but Bless Austin loves to tackle. He loves throwing his body around. He loves hitting people, and that matches Greg Williams' system perfectly. And for a second-year cornerback to come out here and really show from week one, like, we have a diamond in the rough in Bless Austin. He was a 6th-round pick last year coming out of Rutgers, battled a lot of injuries, and his really only X factor is can he stay healthy? And so far he's healthy, and he showed that he could be a potential cornerback for this future. And obviously our cornerbacks is one of the weakest positions on this team, so if Bless Austin can get better and better each game, that's only going to help out this future. Obviously, I know that there's a lot of negatives in this game, but in this video, I just want to bring you guys some hope for the future. I'm not living in the past. I'm aware what happened, but I want to bring you guys some content where we can really be realistically optimistic about the future, and that is Marcus Maye and Bless Austin. Those two guys look like the cornerstones of the secondary, and I'm excited to see what Bless Austin does in the future. He's going to get better and better. He's definitely not going to be elite this year. He's probably going to get beat a couple times. You'll have a pass interference called here and there because he's still young and learning the ropes of the NFL system. But still, he really looks like he has a ton of upside and could be a guy to be our future cornerback 1 or 2 for the long-term future. And I'm really happy we have Bless Austin. He looks like he's determined to be great, determined to get better and better. He's in crazy shape. And yeah, I love Bless Austin. So next player I want to talk about is rookie left tackle Makai Becton. He had a really interesting debut, and it's really positive in my opinion. He gave up 1 sack, and that 1 sack he gave up was a covered sack. There was nobody open downfield, and Sam Darnold just couldn't find anybody, so he held onto the ball, and Makai Becton let him over. But it wasn't really a big deal because Makai Becton couldn't hold on to this block for 4 or 5 seconds, you know what I mean? But if you look at the tape, Makai Becton dominated on some plays. There were some plays where on the run game, he just exploded off the line of scrimmage and just had when he gets his hands on the defender, they're not getting off of him. I mean, they're not getting by Makai Becton. He would be bullying guys. There was a play where he completely just threw a guy, I think Jerry Hughes, to the ground. And for a rookie left tackle, for a guy that did not have preseason reps, for a guy that did not have a traditional offseason, no OTAs, no rookie minicamp, for a guy that come in here and look that well, and you can just see his physicality tools and his mental makeup, and if he can stay healthy, I think Makai Becton is our future cornerstone of this offensive line, and that's huge for the future of this team. Obviously the offensive line as a whole did not look good. I think I'm going to get into the next player, which is George Fenn, who I think had a pretty good day, but the interior offensive line did not look that great. But Makai Becton showed that there were some pass plays where he was solidifying that left side, where Sam Darnold had time in the pocket, and you saw Makai Becton completely just swallow somebody trying to get to Sam Darnold, and he just threw him to the ground. There's a lot of plays where he looked like he was dominating, and the word dominating is a word that we're going to be using with Makai Becton a lot, and that's awesome to see because a guy that's 6'7", 365 pounds, he should be dominating. Not every single snap, but there should be some sequences of plays where Makai Becton looks like he's outmatching the defenders. He's just a mismatch every single day, and he's going to be going up against top-tier pass rushers. Next week, he has a really rough matchup against Nick Bosa, so he's probably going to get beat, but I really think he's going to solidify that line, and we need to see this all five offensive line get into sync because Makai Becton cannot be the only player blocking. That one play I was talking about when Makai Becton completely obliterated Jerry Hughes on a run play, all four of the other offensive linemen, it was a run play to Le'Veon Bell on the right side. They got blown up, and Le'Veon Bell got tackled for a loss. But Makai Becton was on the left side, and he just completely blew up his guy and threw him to the ground with ease. So I want to see Le'Veon Bell and Frank Gore get the ball on the left side way more because if you look at the numbers, they were way more efficient running to the left side because of Makai Becton. So Makai Becton is a huge positive, and I think he really showed in his debut, factoring in all the no preseason games. I think he had a solid debut. Another player that played well, definitely not as well as Makai Becton, was George Fenn. Overall this offensive line did not look great, but if you want to compare it to the offensive line last year, it was an improvement. I mean, it's not that much of an improvement because that's how bad we were last year, but the offensive line looked better this year than it was last year. And George Fenn was definitely solid at the right tackle. He wasn't elite. He wasn't dominating people like Makai Becton and throwing people around, but he was giving Sam Darnold time. He was blocking people in the run game. The interior line was the ones that were really not helping Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was getting interior pressure way more than exterior pressure on the edges. I feel like Sam Darnold couldn't go anywhere because there was pressure in his face, and then Sam would just throw off his back foot and be sloppy with his footwork. And Sam has to clean that up, obviously. But George Fenn and Makai Becton, those two athletic tackles, I think they had a solid day, and hopefully they can get better and better. I think this offensive line is going to get better as the season progresses. Remember, this game was the first time all five offensive linemen play together in an actual game against an opponent that's not in practice. So you got to really give him some slack. And I do think that this offensive line has potential to get better every single day, every single week. They're going to gradually get better, and I feel like by week 10, if all five guys are still healthy, I have a feeling this chemistry is going to brew, and they're going to really show the potential of this offensive line. And obviously next offseason, Joe Douglas is going to revamp it all over again. He's not going to bring in 5 new guys, but he's going to say, okay, who played well, who didn't play well, and who do I have to bring in, who do I have to replace? And my prediction, he's going to bring in 2 new guys on the offensive line next year. So hopefully this offensive line gradually gets better and better each season. This is a year where Joe Douglas is going to evaluate the talent and see who do I want to set this team up for the future. We know, especially after yesterday's game, that this team is not ready to compete in 2020. I wasn't expecting them to compete in 2020. I was expecting them to, come in here and maybe compete, beat some teams we're supposed to, and hopefully beat the teams we're supposed to beat. And obviously, I was going to be optimistic going into the season. I wasn't going to be just sitting here and Debbie Downer yeah, guys, Jets are going to go 2-14, and we're going to suck, and we're going to look terrible. I was realistically optimistic going into the season, as we should. So going into other positives, this is a funny positive. It's not really that big of a positive, but we didn't get blown out. That game felt like we lost way more than we did. The Jets only lost by 10 points, and the Bills made a lot of mistakes towards the end of the half. The Jets actually beat the Bills in the second half. They outscored them off, I think it was 14-6. Unfortunately, we couldn't capitalize, and we definitely had a chance to come back and beat them, but we just didn't capitalize. The offense it took a while for them to get in the rhythm. The only time the offense really got into rhythm, which I'll get into later, is in garbage time, which is unfortunate. So for the Jets to stay in the game and have a game where they only lose by 10 points, I'm okay with that. It would have been a way worse if we lost, 35-10. Instead, we lost 27-17, and we was only a 10-point deficit, which is not a crazy positive, but I'm just bringing it up because it did feel like we lost by way more. You know what I mean? Another positive is Braden Mann looked like an NFL punter. He's a rookie, obviously. He's a 6th-round guy. He was the best punter in college football, so it's good to see him actually perform, and obviously he was really playing a lot because we were punting the ball a lot, and he looked like he has a real NFL punter leg. That's a good sign. We did not want to see Joe Douglas draft a punter, and he comes out here and he's kicking the ball out of bounds, kicking the ball for like 30 yards, and he's terrible. Obviously, a punter is not that big of a position, but at the same time, it is. If you're in a defensive game, you want to be able to pin them deep, and I feel like Braden Mann showed to have potential, and he looks like a real NFL punter, so that is a positive sign. Staying on the special teams, Sam Ficken, he hit all his field goals. I mean, all 3 of the field goals that he hit, he should have hit. He didn't hit any long ones. It was like a 32-yarder, and he hit both of his point afters. That's just a positive sign in context of, in Jet standards, we're used to, missing the point afters. We're used to missing the 30-yard field goals. Look at the Bills kicker yesterday. He missed 2 really easy field goals. The Jets didn't. He only had 3 attempts, and it's not that big of a positive. Like, if he hit a 45-yarder or a 52-yarder, it would have been way more of a positive, but it is a good sign that Sam Ficken was accurate, and he did not miss any of his 3 attempts. I know they were easy attempts, but it's a good thing that he hit them instead of missing them, And then the last positive I thought of, which I kind of mentioned it, is the offense showed some life in the 4th quarter. That's when Sam Darnold got into rhythm. I know it was garbage time, and I understand that they were losing and the game was a wash, and the Buffalo Bills defense was probably not really trying. They were fatigued. They're like, all right, this game's a wash. We're not going to really pressure him or do anything to Sam Darnold, but he got into a rhythm, and he was feeding Chris Herndon over the middle, and I don't understand what took him so long to do that, but the offense went down the field, and Sam Darnold had Chris Hogan for a touchdown, but Chris Hogan did not come down with the pass. So he hands it off to Josh Adams. He goes up the middle for a touchdown, which makes it a 10-point game. So that offense did start clicking. You saw Sam Darnold get more comfortable. He was in the rhythm. A little out route to Prashad, a little out route to Crowder, then Herndon down the middle. Hopefully the ending of the 4th quarter can really propel this offense to get more comfortable. I'm not making any excuses in terms of, COVID protocols, there's no preseason, because all 32 teams are dealing with the same situation. So there's no excuses for this Jets offense to look that bad. But hopefully that they can learn from their mistakes and just learn and hopefully look way more of a competent offense against the San Francisco 49ers, which is another elite defense. So they have a big test. I'm going to make a preview video on that as well. So leave a comment down below what you guys thought of this positive video. I had to make a positive video because it's been a really dark day for Jets fans, rightfully so. And again, I'm not talking about the negatives in this video because I went over all of those in my reaction video. So if you guys want to see me really crap on the Jets, which I really did, watch my reaction review video. This one I want to bring some Jets fans some light in the darkness. That does it for this video. Leave a comment down below what you guys thought of this video and some positives that you took away. I know it's hard, but there were some positives. So leave a comment down below. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and subscribe for more Jets content. I'm excited to bring you guys content no matter if we're winning or losing. Last year I was making content even when we were 1-7. It was really tough, but I'm going to be here no matter what. If we go 0-16, I'm going to be making content for you guys. I understand that we want to see a good football team playing, but if we're going to be losing, I'm still going to be here. So I appreciate you guys showing all the love and the support. We're in this together as Jets fans, Jets Nation. Stand up and show that we are a fan base that does not give up on our team no matter what. Obviously, we want Adam Gase gone, me as well, but we'll see what happens, man. It's going to be a rough season, but I'm going to be here with you guys till the end. That does it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Have a fantastic day. Let's go, Jets! I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.